What's up, everybody? Marhan13 here, and you already see the title of the video. Let's go. Well, you're not supposed to see that yet. Come on, work with me here. Come on, load. Okay, goddamn. Okay, here we go. So, where we last left the story off, we saw Clyde 11,000 off of basically a perk, and before he knows it's the past selves of him, Lincoln, Nezuko, and Chandler. Oh my God! The red-eyed man with black dreads says, "You are past versions here. What the hell are you trying to accomplish, you two? What, trying to get them from not turning out like us? Where's Paradox? He would have been here by now." It doesn't matter anyway. All I do know is that, well, Nezuko, Lincoln, I want to know, where's my son? The red-eyed man says. With Lincoln and Nezuko responding when you're not getting to him, as they transform immediately. As they're getting ready to transform. Oh, and also, if it's gonna come down to it, might as well go all out from the start. But just before he can start, as electricity starts to glow off of him red, the two black whips come out of Lincoln and Nezuko's hands before wrapping around him. Black whip, really? But next thing Clyde 11,000 knows is he's completely slammed throughout the building, like just thrown out as green and orange electricity surrounds Lincoln and Nezuko as they move at hyperspeed, at severely fast speeds, before meeting Clyde 11K outside, and which they proceed to both through Delaware smash, sending him flying even further in throughout the base. Now then, let's switch back up to Eri. About 18-year-old Eri. Oh no, what the hell's going on down there? As she feels the headquarters shake, as she turns on one of the cameras through a monitor, who knows? She sees someone. She sees Clyde 11K. Her eyes widen, seeing her uncle again after all this time. But Eri's a smart girl. She knows what he's here for. Oh no. She goes to immediately grab her brother and nephews and get out of there. Hopefully to hide them at UA or somewhere safe from him. We see her getting there and telling them to get their stuff and then hurry up, it's time to go. What the kid's asking why, as she doesn't say, as we're going to UA, which the kids hearing that immediately agree to go. Which, during this time, we see Harry rushing them out to a car, something, jet fighter, who knows? She gets him into something and starts to, say a ship, a proto truck, basically, something like the proto truck, who knows? Which it does ship like. Actually, let's say she gets to her car and it's something like the proto truck, so it shifts to a spaceship and she flies off with them in the back. Hopefully, at least run away from him, since if he's back, that means he's coming for Junior over there. Well, in the back. Actually, you know what? Actually, Harold. That would probably be his name, as Clyde probably want to honor him, his dad, who did die, remember, in this timeline. So, actually, he would be coming for Harold in the back over there. So, as she's flying, let's get back to what the fights happen while Ares getting them out of there. As we see Clyde 11K get swung through the building even more before his arm starts to buff up, shooting out massive air pressure at the two. Which we see him land on his feet with his red eyes glowing through his hair before flicking it back. Well, I'm placing it back behind his head. You know, it was really a smart idea for me to still offer one. What's funny is that the bastard tried to take over my body afterwards. But, I made sure he couldn't anymore afterwards. As he looks with pure evil intent in his eyes. As we get a slight flashback, as we see a younger Clyde 11K in a depressed manner as he breaks into Tartarus prison. as we see him walking, he finally gets to someone, All For One, which this takes place after the Second War, in which he ripped All Might in half. He somehow survived the attack, but weak enough to where Clyde can just kind of walk in, which as we do, we see Clyde grab All For One by the face and starts to absorb red electricity coming out. All For One tries to fight it at first, but can't, as he's turned into a shriveled ass by the end of Clyde absorbing his power, All For One instilling it. And we see All For One's shriveled up corpse on the floor, as Clyde just drops his body to the ground. And before we see in the Vestige world where All For One tries to get Clyde to listen to him, before he's destroyed there too, effectively killing the man born of evil once and for all. Now then, as we sit back to the future, as we see Clyde 11K shoot out more pressurized air, before this time stopping mid through it and shooting out a laser, which we see Lincoln and Deku Kincaid move immediately, which we see the two grabbing him by the black whip, and before using Fodge in to burst themselves in the head before giving him a 7-second kick to the chest, sending him flying. Which they're not done as they push it up to 100 and... Actually, you know what? 200%. Yeah, I mean, teenage Deku is able to push it to 120. Adult Deku with One For All probably be able to push it to who's had it for multiple years on end more than our Deku. They probably both be able to push it to 200. And so using gear shifts on themselves, they proceed to push up their power to 200, One For All 200%, shattering the ground below them as they rush at Clyde 11K. Slamming their fist into his chest, shattering his ribs immensely before sending them flying back through their base. Once we see them almost immediately jump after them in light speed, appearing in front of them before hitting him with another Detroit smash and slamming them down into a building. Well, multiple buildings, destroying the entire building itself. Now then, as we get back to the past versions of themselves, they're like, holy shit. Is that what One For All can do? And if Muriel died, as I start thinking about it, Muriel died because of having two quirks, as they realized can One For All only be used to its fullest potential by quirkless people. As they look off in shock as the fight continues to go on between the man with all, as even now, One For All and All For One are still fighting. Except that things are wildly different from All Might's fight. As you can even see, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just say they're near Kamino Ward. Why not? So it's like All Might versus All For One once again, but things are so much different. Now then, as we see Lincoln Ozuku and Chandler and Clyde finally get there, you know, wow, you two must really be trying to kill me. Are you still mad are you still mad about me killing Chandler? Get over it. It was so many years ago. I didn't even get to get my hands on his kids. I didn't even get to kill his kids. As the menacing monster that was once Clyde McBride smiles with an insane... As we see an insane smile appear on his face. I even get to trust and believe after I'm done with you two, I'm going to let my son absorb their quirks. A father and son duo ruin the universe. That'd be fun. That's Clyde 11,000 finally says, well, you know, I think it's about time we stop playing with their powers and use ours. Which Lincoln and Izuku do have to tap out of 200% since, well, they go back to base since, well, it's taking a lot out of them. As we see them breathing heavy. You know, while you were trying to kill me, you seem to fail to realize how many aliens have a distinctive aptitude for absorbing pain. But don't worry. As Clyde 11K starts to grow, his voice morphing into more of a monstrous tone, his head lighting on fire, tentacles spewing out of his arm, his arms, which eventually we see this starting to form, except the fire is pure red, as we see him morph into a monstrous form of this. Holy shit. Also, he's gigantic. Like it. The giant monster version of Clyde 11K says. Which in the green and orange fast, Link and Nezuko transform into Humongousaur before growing. Well, Humongousaur and Tyrannosaur before growing and swinging on Clyde 11K, sending him flying. Oh, Link, Zuko, did you really think that'll hold me down? And as we see the giant monster version of Clyde 11K come out of nowhere, slapping the two down to the ground, relatively easy. I have all your powers plus my own. I'm Clyde 11,000. He screams after them. You're going to die here just like Chandler, he says in a more menacing tone. Which just leads to their past versions finally getting up to the field and trying to fight him. Only to, obviously be smacked down severely easy, slamming him in the ground. But there's one thing he does before he decides to leave to go follow his son. As he picks the present Clyde up before bringing him to his giant flaming face. You will turn. You're going to eventually be me. And there's nothing you can do to stop it, he says, which Clyde, having to look into the fiery blaze of the monster he's become, stares at him in fear before he's slammed into the ground violently, which causes blood to spill from his head before he flies off. As thanks to having wild blood senses, he can smell where they are, so he flies off for where they are. Which Zuko and Link K get up relatively easy. Damn it. They're gone. As they see their unconscious selves on the floor. He didn't kill them. Probably being sure he still exists, Lincoln thinks. Well, future Lincoln thinks. Okay. I'm gonna have to get this over. Hey kids, wake up. If you want to come help, might as well. Also, do you have... Which also we see Link and Nezuko K ends up grabbing the omnitrix before typing in a code. And they say, there, we have locked everything you two have become until now. And also gave you a slight master control. Should help. Now let's go. In which we see Link and Nezuko K is transformed... Well, future Link and Izu transformed into Jet Ray and Stingray. Before saying we said for our Link and Nezuko, grabbing Chandler and Clyde and flying off. Now, while this is happening, obviously Clyde 11K gets a hold of them, relatively easily, as he smacks every ship down. Eri, he says, how's my niece doing? As he raises his hands up, only for Eri to have her horn glow before, as he tries to come down, his hand tries to crush her. He gets in the blasting away by Rewind. Damn, you and your blasted quirk. So he can finally control it. Since I'd say Eri would be about 6. I'd say Eri would probably be 15 the last time he showed up. So you can finally do. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Proud enough to where I want to steal it. He says as he grabs a hold of Eri, getting ready to steal Rewind from her. But again, she activates Rewind again, end up reverting his head, one of his tentacle arms back to normal, for just a little bit before he regrows it again. You're getting me. Now, he just says, fuck it, I don't need it. As he gets ready to bring his head down to kill Eri, we see some other hero show up as water ends up blasting him, taking out his flames. Before we see a giant pink thing, I don't know, illusion thing, pop up. Which we see someone else get to Eri, placing their hand on them and healing her a bit. As we... it's all of you. How nice. Coda and I cannot remember the names from the kids from the new movie with 9, but it's them. Basically, they're all heroes now. I mean, they're all like 19, so they would reasonably be heroes. But so yeah, we see the 19 versus Akota, and the other 2 kids. But it starts with M for both of them, but I can't remember it right now. Akota, protecting your little girlfriend, I see. How noble. As his flames burn brighter again, as Kodo just blasts them more water. Harry, take them out of here and run. We'll catch up. Well, I'll catch up, as he's mainly the one fighting him off. As the others get out of there, with Koda creating a smoke screen of steam and running off as well. Now then, just before he can get to moving, we see Humongosaur and Tyrannosaur come crashing down on him. Before they could leave. They couldn't get away in time, but enough, which we do see Clyde 11,000 few. Excuse me. There's just a few phase through the ground, with him coming up near where the kids were running. Which, also forgot to mention, little Toshi and Loki. Wait a minute, no. What did I name him? Loki or Logan. Toshi and Logan. Actually, no, I'm taking Logan's name to Loki. If it's in Japan, if I show Future Lincoln, Loki will be his name, but normally, like, it's just a future series of one in Japan, America, Logan. So, Loki right now. So, yeah. Actually, never mind, Logan. It's Logan. His name's Logan. As we see Logan and Toshi slam down in their Omni Omnitrix, looking somewhat like the prototype, actually. As we see the 2 morph and transform before. And I say in the Heat Blast, and Toshi transforms the Heat Blast, and Logan transforms into a new alien. One with a flaming head. It's a fight. Actually, not. Yeah, no, he transforms into swamp fire. Why not? As they blast fire at a giant monster in front of them. Oh. Really? Is that all you 2 got? As he brings up a tentacle and just kind of smacks them away hard into the ground, which cracks the ground slightly. And again, we see a fight happen between the kids and him, which unfortunately the kids lose badly. Yeah, as he gets ready to kill him, but this is when Humongosaur comes down upon Clyde 11. This is when we see him in the future version of Lincoln and Izuku and our main 4 find them, only to see Eri, all of the kids on the ground unconscious. But this is when something triggers inside Lincoln and Izuku K. As they see Eri, Toshi, and Logan on the ground, it brings up a rage in them, which after a flash, we see way big. We see 2 new aliens we haven't known. How dare you! The 2 scream out as they slam their massive fists to Clyde 11,000 before continuing to pummel him to the ground. How dare you! They scream out again in pure anger before bringing their hands into a hammer sound before slamming it down. Which, by the end of it, we see a crushed and somewhat bloody Clyde 11K on the ground. Which we see future Lincoln and Izuku transform back. Are you all okay? But just as Eri gets up and tells them they're fine, as the kids also get up. But which Eri does say, "Hey Dad, I got something for you." actually throws Lincoln a null void egg. What were those called in the future? Null void egg containers? I don't know. But one of those. What just as this was when Clyde 11K gets up, holding future Lincoln Nezuko by the neck. Your choice. I can waste. Which this is when we see future. This is when you see Harold. Oh. I know Harold. Blast Kai 11K with electricity, which stuns him a bit, enough to make him let go. Well, not enough to let go, but this gives Lincoln an idea as he bites him, like just straight up bites his thumb. Which this combined with electricity makes him slightly angry enough to let go. Which leads to Lincoln Nezuko kicking future Clyde 11K in the face, which we finally see future Lincoln K throw the egg at Clyde before sucking him in. Which we see Clyde 11K screaming no. We'll have a special place for you in the null void, Clyde. They say. It seems like everything's gone well now, hasn't it? As we see Paradox on here. Paradox. Took you long enough. Yes, I know. I was dealing with something else in terms of multiverse. With Ben Prime. How's he doing? Fine. He gives his regards. That's nice. Now, which he says, now then, it seems like it's time I get you for home. Yeah, that'd be nice. Which they do stop to ask their future selves if there was anything you could change, what would it be? Telling everyone about the aliens. Maybe it would have helped. Which, as we see them walk off, we still see future Lincoln and Zuko stop and, hey, quit being a piece of shit. You know, maybe it'd be a good idea to kind of stop being a shit dad and spend time with your kids. Alright. As we see this, we finally see the other four walk through the portal, finally, returning to their own timeline. As we see Lincoln K telling Gary that he's sorry for being a bad dad. Come on, Dad, it's fine. I know you're busy being a world-famous hero, but it would be nice if you just came home once in a while, you know? Aries says, yeah. Which, this is when Lincoln and Nezuko K seems to know that maybe it's okay to take breaks once in a while. As we see, well, they think about it, we see them finally get back to their headquarters, placing Clyde in a special place in the null void, one that he won't get out this time. Before we see two people we unknown. Oh, hey, Rex, Zach. Featuring Lincoln K and 10, Deku says, hey, there's disturbing. Actually, no, it'd be, what was that called? The Galactic Protect Altimos. You know who Altimos? Yeah, him and his group. As they tell him that there's been a breach with Animo somewhere, which ends up with future Lincoln and Zuko telling them, you handle it. We got some time to spend. You think you guys can handle things for a while, for like a little bit? We got some things we need to handle with our families. Yeah. Ultimo says, as he tells them, go right ahead. And that's where we end the story off. Now, and I hope you know we have a side story they explain that's going to come up next part to explain what's exactly been happening while they were gone, since they've been gone for like a day. Well, half a day, you know. But yeah, March 13th.